Week 13 of PFR on Lakeshore PBS. We wrap it up tonight as we get ready for regional championship football. Are you guys ready?
Yeah. Wow, we're ready.
We're going to take a time out and come back because they're ready to go right after this on PFR.
Program support comes from NIPSCO.
Honey, who is this guy?
Oh, that's Frank. Hey, Frank.
Honey, why is Frank in our bedroom?
He's showing us ways to save money. Plus, he'll even help us install LED bulbs and new shower heads.
Oh, well, he is leaving before I shower, though, right?
To schedule an energy assessment and learn more about energy usage, visit nipsco.com.
Frank, could you hand me a towel?
All righty, we're just having a good time.
Yes.
Last show of the year, we're yucking it up. PFR on Lakeshore PBS. We are ready to go as we start off our show tonight. As we always do, we look back at the Week 12 highlights on our PFR Rewind. All right, those are our plays, our rewind of the year, the yearly highlights, and some great pick sixes and things
Yeah.
going on there.
Yeah, good highlights. I mean, our cameramen were just outstanding all year round.
They looked great there. Let me
Yes.
just say that. All right, time now for our players of the week from week 12. We'll have our players of the year coming up later on tonight, but let's look at week 12's players of the week. Colin Wagner that stepped up and had a huge night against Boone Grove.
And he's the younger of the Wagners, so obviously there was little bragging rights that was held by the older brother for about 7 days, but Colin comes up big.
Equal time. And by
Michael
Wayne
McCullough.
had a great year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Michael McCullough from Michigan City. Boy, did he have a year. 216 yards and the 2 TDs versus LaPorte.
And I'll tell you this, on his resume also, you led Michigan City to their first sectional as the Wolves.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's huge.
That's
You know,
right,
they got that big victory, and we'll see how they respond tomorrow night against Concord.
And Ryan Boulder,
Yeah.
really came on late to help Crown Point win their second straight sectional. Great job there.
They'll have to have a solid, if not spectacular, night tomorrow night if they have any hopes of
That's
upsetting
true.
Penn.
He's got to play well. And,
Yeah.
Tyler Gomez in that offensive line.
Right. How about some defensive players of the week? Another guy that had a huge year. Jusevich set it going last week against Griffith. Fumble recovery, a pick, and a punt return TD against Griffith.
You know, every time I think about me saying Valpo had the best defense in Northwest Indiana, here's the latest rub-in. But this kid is awesome. Great football
Yeah.
player and some great numbers last week against a good team.
Yeah.
And the guy that doesn't get as much credit is this Caden Watson from
Yeah.
Crown Point. 131 tackles on the season. I think he was third in the area. Just amazing.
Couple of sacks. He's had a ton of tackles for loss this year. Fumble recovery. He's another guy that'll have to have some big plays tomorrow night if they're going to upset Penn. And Lyric McFerrin.
Right. McFerrin, he was a move-in from Chesterton. Played all year with Michigan City. And this was a great one. A fumble recovery. I think we had the highlight of this on this last week. Fumble recovery takes it back 99 yards for a TD versus LaPorte.
Kind of turned the game around.
Yes, it
Exactly.
did.
Yeah. All right. How about some special teams players of the week?
There's just one, and that was Mr. Special Teams, J.J. Wattis, a 41-yard field goal versus West Lafayette. West Lafayette is really good.
Yeah.
Okay, the unknown player of the week.
I came up with Cameron Mohammed just because, he really had a great game. Now, there people may know him outside of Michigan City, but boy, he did a great job last week against LaPorte.
And he doesn't got in the pub.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. He does now, yeah. But you mentioned about how Boulder had to have a big game tomorrow for Crown Point. He's going to have
Yeah.
a big one
Yeah,
along
he
with
is.
McCullough against Concord tomorrow because Concord's no slouch.
Right.
You need to
10
get
and 1.
some numbers. Yeah, exactly. Get some numbers from those kids again tomorrow.
Ben Vanderwall from North Newton.
He
2
fits the
TDs.
criteria because I've never heard of him.
Yes, he actually is the quarterback. And
That's not good when you're the quarterback. And who is this guy?
Yeah, they have 3 ball carriers that really have,
Yes,
that
they
they
do.
are their primary ball carriers, and he's not one of them really.
That's
It's
right.
the Wagner boys and the fullback. So, and then Marquand hurt,
right. I wonder if he's related.
probably.
Yes. 1 interception versus LaPorte.
And a good last name for a defensive player.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And Michigan City plays well when their defense plays well.
Yeah.
Every
yeah.
loss they've had this year, the defense was out to lunch.
And they play great when they're when the other team doesn't have the ball at the end of the game.
Yeah, exactly. You guys have to work on that.
Have the ball at the end of the game. Run that
Exactly.
clock out.
Exactly. Make sure you're the last one with the football. Avoid all problems.
All right, time for the final polls of the season. Let's start with the little 5.
Well, LaVille still in it. And they're at number 5, 8-4. The Velt, a great year, 7-3 there. Rensselaer and Boone Grove are starting basketball, and so is Knox. So the Little Five, they've all had great seasons.
Yeah, they did. They're really good,
did.
solid seasons for those 5 schools in football, even though they're still not playing tomorrow night.
Right, that's right.
All right, now the top 10, the final only poll that matters of the season. Well, I think Morton is definitely worthy of the top 10 ranking. They had a very solid year.
They really did. Coach Kinsey did a great job coming in there, turning that program around and getting it back to where it was under Coach Richards. And, number 9, you got North Newton, 8 and 4. They really made a statement at the end of the year. Beating Whiting, beating Boone Grove. Wow.
Winning a sectional, first one
That's
since
right.
&93. Third one in their history. So, I mean, that's I think, Andrean, they got off to such a great start, Tommy, with 8 and 4, solid year, but probably not thrilled with the turnout, even though they played a great team last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played a juggernaut last
Yeah.
week. I don't think you could have got an all-star team of region players that beat
Probably.
West Lafayette last week, but still, good season for Andrean. You made the Wayne Smetanoff top 10. That's it. That's resume builder right there.
Yeah. LaPorte, maybe similar, had high hopes at the beginning of the year. Tremendous first win against New Prairie, but obviously they fell a game short of winning a sectional, so
Yeah.
that's not going to be happy for them.
Oh, definitely. I mean, 10 and 2 is a great record, but I know that all those kids and Coach Gifford himself would have loved to have won that game. Crown Point still in it, still playing, second time in a row, as we said.
Back-to-back sectional champions.
Wow.
Yeah.
Valparaiso had a great season. Unfortunately, they had to start the sectional with Penn.
Yeah.
But they beat Penn at the early part of the year, so
Duneland Conference Championship.
that's right. Michigan City comes back and plays really well against LaPorte. I was not expecting, I don't know, Tommy, if you were, but I was not expecting Michigan City to blow out LaPorte the way they did.
I didn't expect it to hold it in that few amount of points.
Right.
What was it, 10
Right.
points last
Yeah.
week?
Right.
Yeah, so Michigan City got it done defensively. And what does that tell you about the Duneland Conference? You got 3 teams, 3, 4, 5 all Duneland schools, and the top one didn't even win the conference.
Right.
Yeah. Tommy, now the big question for you, does New Prairie have a chance against the best defense in the region tomorrow night?
And yet another rub-in. That's okay. I will say this. They've got a kid for New Prairie named Nick Wilson. New Prairie better have a few other weapons, because if Whiting,
Lowell.
if Lowell, he'll get it right. If Lowell could shut down a football team with 4 weapons, you better have more than one if
Right.
you're New Prairie tomorrow.
Well, and obviously Lowell's defense is familiar with the Radke scheme, so they're going to have to probably try to force them to throw the ball,
Right.
get them in a long third down situation, make them do uncomfortable things, or maybe cause some turnovers.
Can I make a prediction here?
Yeah.
If Lowell's offensive line outscores New Prairie like they did last week with Griffith, they'll win the game.
Okay.
I'm sticking my neck way out there.
I'm telling you. I think that's just a tremendous matchup tomorrow night.
I do too.
As Lowell and New Prairie. In fact, it's such a great matchup. I think we'll probably talk about it at length here coming up. There's our top 10 poll, though, as we continue on PFR, the final mascot madness of the season. It takes us to 5959 Broadway.
Back in 1959, when Andrean was first built, Andrean had a lot of, the number 59 came up a lot. It was built in the year 1959, or that was the first year the freshmen came into the building. The address of the school is 5959 Broadway, and there's some folklore, whether it's true or not, that at the time when there was a lot of nuns and priests there was a total of 59 religious. Whether or not there's any validity to it, I'm not sure. But since all that, they decided to make the name the 59ers. But technically, there's no such thing as a 59er, so we really don't have a true mascot. So this is our school crest. Our school crest is what our motto of our school is: Christ is our teacher, or Christ is my teacher. So you'll see our crest pretty much on uniforms and on stationery, and that's the thing that's been with us since the beginning of the school, our school crest. 59er isn't a date or street number or a miner or a freight train or an old man with a long white beard. Rather, it represents something more splendid than we realize. 59er is it's really not an identity. We don't really have, it's really not a mascot, it's not an identity. When you come into Andrean, so many people coming from so many different communities that feed into, you're trying to find your identity, Andrean, and what your niche is going to be at the school, whether it's going to be athletics, academics, theater, and things like that.
Oh, another awesome
You
mascot
know, we
match.
got to give kudos to Justin in the booth there for putting this all together and stuff. And that has been a great segment for
Yeah,
us. So.
and Connor too. You got to give Connor.
Oh, yeah,
I know
that's
you don't
right.
want to give Connor.
Oh,
any
no.
credit. All right, we'll give Connor a little credit as well. All right, time for a special edition of Throwback Thursday, because we don't know what it is. Let's go to it. I believe we know what it is now. Wow. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
That's why they knew what number you wore in high school.
Yeah,
right?
There you go. That you there?
Oh my God.
44?
Where'd they get these pictures from?
You used to be you used to be top 10, Wayne, in free throw percentage. I'm worried. Yeah, I was worried we were going. They spelled my name wrong in the yearbook there.
Nice do there, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. I think I wore that same outfit to work today. Some of my old high school buddies getting some airtime tonight.
I think I know this guy.
Hey,
Look at that guy.
Wow.
He's got that suit and tie on.
By the way, there was a horse that froze that morning because I was wearing that jacket.
you were styling this.
Look at that.
Oh
Look
my
at that.
goodness.
Who would have thunk it?
Oh man, that was back when I actually thought I had athleticism.
And they retired your jersey back here.
Yeah.
No, it was, I found that they were trying to sell it, 80% off. They were trying to retire that jersey.
All right, we should have
Great
known.
segment there.
We should have
Great
known
segment.
something was
Yep,
going on.
that's
there.
right.
Yeah.
We're not really very perceptive. So, all right, time now for our game of the week. Everything we said about Justin and Connor, forget about it. All right, our game of the week. This should be a
has
great
to be.
one.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. You know, New Prairie is putting points on the board. Boy, they played a good schedule out of South Bend. They lost to LaPorte, but that was their only loss on the
Yeah.
season. You know,
And really, they haven't really had a close game since they smoked Andrean.
that's right.
You know, and then I really think this is just such a great matchup of a tremendous offense and a great defense. I think the factor that leads me to think that Lowell's got a really good chance is that their offense has played much better the last 2 weeks. It seems like, you know, we might have been stashing a few formations away
The
there.
4 wide receiver that had Joe like, what? And your points won't take it because we talk about what happens if the Griffith offense, the New Prairie offense gets it done against the Lowell defense, but what about the opposite?
Mm-hmm.
What can the opposition defense do against the Lowell offense? And lately, not much.
Well, and you want to be peaking at the right time.
Yes.
If Lowell is peaking offensively, and they have stayed pretty injury-free, which is huge this time of year.
That's right.
So that could be a big factor for them in being at home.
That's right. That's right. 2 weeks in a row now.
And how
You know,
long's
at
the trip?
home and, I'm sorry.
How long is the trip from New Prairie to Lowell?
It's about an hour.
Yeah,
about an
Just
hour.
on the side of LaPorte.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Gotcha.
So, obviously, veteran coaching staff at New Prairie. They've been to Lowell many times. Two teams that'll be very familiar with each other. So it should be a great football game tomorrow night.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, help me out. Outside of the quarterback, who else does New Prairie? Because obviously I haven't had a chance to see them play.
Yeah,
But
I think it's their backs. They're
They're two
I would
backs, right.
be that they're similar to, a similar type run game with a three runners, a slot guy, or sometimes they break the bone, but it's a bit different. We haven't seen them all year, but they're going to have 3 different runners they're going to have to,
Okay.
and the quarterback to
Gotcha.
kind of rely on or look at. So it'll be a multiple running attack, but. it's something that, Lowell's familiar with defensively, having seen it a lot. And obviously these two teams have been looking at each other a lot this season. But, you just got to be happy with the way Lowell's offense has played the last few weeks.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, especially last week.
Right.
Yeah. So, alrighty. So, Wayne likes the Red Devil.
I do. I think that Lowell at home, playing well now offensively, and that offensive line, which also is partly defensive line, is huge. Gary Graven, who had the Lowell Griffith game, that was one of the things on the radio. He had said to Tommy and I, we said, "What's the difference?" And he said, Lowell's line is huge. It's men against boys on that game. So we'll see. We'll see about New Prairie.
And we'll see if turnovers, penalties could be a factor again.
Always.
Tomorrow night, it should be a decent weather night. Might be a little bit of a wet field, though.
Yeah.
But
a little cool, but Tommy
maybe
likes it.
Exactly.
Some of the white stuff in the afternoon.
I know, that's what I heard.
Too, yeah, exactly.
All right, time for the final picks of the season. It's time for Wayne's World. We are ready to check out our final picks of the year, and let's check out the final record of the year, Wayne.
Yeah, look at that. Dropped
You
to
stayed
74.
above. You stayed above 70, which is vital.
Jeez.
I'm very proud
Look
of
at
that.
that. Look at yours, Richard. 65%.
That's very good, if I
Yes,
may
it
say
is.
so myself.
And you just did.
You are going to say that.
I don't think there's any question that that's an outstanding job. Okay, let's check out Wayne's picks.
I'm going with Penn, even though Crown Point isn't at home. I'm gonna call this a close game. I'm not going to think that this is a blowout. And I like Michigan City over Concord big. I don't know who Concord plays, but they're 10-1. They're obviously very good, but City is on a roll.
Well, yeah, and Crown Point at home with a solid defense, with a good running game. I think they have a chance tomorrow. I mean,
do too.
They just their margin for error is it's not as high as other teams would when you take on a team like Penn, who's so solid all around.
Right. And Penn has improved since they've played Velpo in the beginning of the year.
Although they're not great offensively.
No, they're not.
So that's big. You like Lowell, as we said.
I do, and North Newton, I just am so impressed with the way that they have come along, and their defense is stout, and I like the Wagners, boy. Colin and Colt are just outstanding. Vanderwall, the unknown player this week, has really stepped up. I really like North Newton.
Yeah, they have a great opportunity at home to win a regional championship. All right, now we've got some players and coach of the year. We start with offense. This has been a big debate on social media, I guess, as well.
Huh.
So we gave it to two guys.
Yeah, just because Anthony Maceo had a tremendous season, started out gangbusters. He was almost hands down the MVP. And then, defenses started to adjust. Michael McAuliffe has really played well in the last 5 or 6 weeks, throwing the ball. I mean, over 2,000 yards. This young man is outstanding. He's going to play at the next level.
Well, I think both of these guys are very worthy. They both had tremendous seasons. They both led their teams on the field. I think they both are very worthy of postseason honors.
Yeah, Maceo was basically the offense for that team the first 4 games.
Right.
Before everybody started to catch up and they started to become a better football team. But he's a great leader, very athletic, good quarterback. No argument with Maceo being up there. And for that matter, no argument about McCullough.
Well, I think the thing you like about Maceo as well is that he made himself a better player this year.
Yes, he did.
With work in the offseason, with tremendous work on his throwing. So I think he had a great offseason, threw the ball much better this year.
And became a leader.
Yeah.
Coach Mason had said he really stepped up as a leader this year.
And you can't share the ball if you can't pass it.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
That's how you got the other weapons. He's throwing the ball to other guys.
Defensive players of the year. We liked the idea so much we went for 2 there.
You know, Jordan Jesovich he was outstanding. He was outstanding on offense. He was outstanding on defense.
Special teams.
That's right, special
Saw him
teams.
return a punt for 6.
Wow, I mean, this young man is, and again, he is playing at IU next year. He accepted that scholarship, and he's going to help them tremendously.
I think so. He plays very fast, being able to see things and read things, and he'll be a big fixture for Lowell on defense tomorrow night. And Caden Watson's a guy that just had a tremendous season with tackles for loss, sacks. Oh, our guy's doing a great job finding some Caden Watson highlights there with a beautiful tackle for loss. He was a load, probably got double teamed a lot, and it still didn't matter.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
And he's still playing as well.
That's right.
Yeah, the Crown Point, that's the strongest part of that football team, the defense.
Yeah. And the coach of the year, well, he's undefeated.
Yep.
Tremendous year so far for Lowell, and they're still playing. And Coach Kilmer, although a lot of guys in the hunt for this, you can look at Coach Mason and Coach Bean and the job that they've done as well. And our surprise teams of the year there, Knox and Morton.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been a good year.
Great year.
We want to thank all the cameramen and all the people in production for helping us. We want to thank Chef Nix. Right,
He's getting a lot of love.
I'm going to really lose weight
Yeah,
now.
they called and said they were delivering to your guys' house
Oh,
tomorrow.
yeah?
Really?
All right, we will see you in January when we start back with the Prep Sports Report. Good night.
Program support comes from NIPSCO.
Honey, who is this guy?
Oh, that's Frank. Hey, Frank.
Honey, why is Frank in our bedroom?
He's showing us ways to save money. Plus, he'll even help us install LED bulbs and new shower heads.
Oh, well, he is leaving before I shower, though, right?
To schedule an energy assessment and learn more about energy usage, visit NIPSCO.com.
Frank, could you hand me a towel?